And one thing more, I must clarify that.
Right, now let Manish respond to
only
point
one
by
second.
point.
Only one second. Only 1 second. This whole Punjab issue. Now it was a case of Punjab government. The money is of Punjab government. The project is of Punjab government, if the case is true. Only because there is a UT territory, without the consent, CBI's one person says a car is parked outside, you start investigation.
No, but sir.
Today we have got Bihar Bhavan,
No, then
UP
you can
Bhavan,
politicize
MP Bhavan
everything.
in Delhi.
Then you can politicize everything.
No, there's no question of...
No, by that argument, you can politicize everything.
Or now the suspicious circumstances are too overwhelming to say that a front has been opened up in the bizarre manner. If there is anything wrong, I am not defending. Let the law take its own course. But is this government, Mayawati or Mulayam, has the CBI not been abused? How the affidavits were changed in Supreme Court?
Okay, now I'm... Right. Now I will give Manish the chance to respond to that. Manish, you know, background to this is, for example, CBI went soft in the disproportionate assets case against Mayawati when the BSP support was critical for the passage of the finance bill in the Lok Sabha. So, you know, there is a backdrop to these questions. Of course, the BJP is is in no situation of great virtue, but there is a backdrop to some of these questions. Yes, please respond.
Allow me to jog Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad's memory a little. If the wholesale sacking of state governments and the wholesale sacking of governors was institutionalized, it was by the Bharatiya Janata Party in 1977 when they came and sacked 18 state governments of the Congress Party and not less than 25 governors. So therefore, it does not lie in their mouth to talk about constitutionality. And now, let me also, rebut what he said about the great bills. He is trying to draw a distinction between Makoka, which was assented by the president, and Gujkok, which was held back by the governor. The reason for that is because there is a central law which was enacted in the meanwhile, and state laws need to conform to the central law, and unfortunately the Gujarat Organized Crime Control Act, or whatever acronym it goes by, does not conform to that central act, So therefore, when the president sent it back for reconsideration, rather than apply their mind, rather than have a discussion on it, they used their brute majority in the assembly to pass it again when the entire opposition walked out. So obviously, what do you expect a governor to do when you have a chief minister who wants to rely upon his brute majority, not even discuss a bill which has been sent back for reconsideration? If he is not going to withhold assent, what else is he going to do? And coming to the specific charge about the abuse and the misuse of agencies, allow me to remind Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, he was a minister in the NDA government, as to how their government ran Tehelka into the ground, how they bankrupted the owners and the promoters of that website because it had the temerity to show their president, Mr. Bangaru Lakshman, taking cash, and that too not Indian cash, but dollars on television. So therefore, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, let's not have selective amnesia. The fact of the matter is that you have corrupt governments which are running amok, and I forgot to mention Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan and the great dumper case. So therefore, every chief minister of yours has very serious charges of corruption against him, including the Uttarakhand Chief Minister. And because there's a paucity of time, otherwise I could have gone into each of them chapter and verse and established that it is because of the corruption, it is because they are feeling the heat, that you are now trying to make it into a central state issue. That is not going to work.
What is going on between both the parties?
In order, introspect, look within, take action against Yadurappa, take action against Raman Singh, and ask Mr. Narendra Modi to step down so that a fair and impartial probe into the worst genocide in the last 62 years can take place.
Okay, now, I'm just, before Ravi Shankar Prasad, you respond very quickly. I get a sense here, the average citizen is not getting a complete picture of what's going on between the Congress and the BJP. We remember what the Prime Minister indicated. He left this soft hint at his news conference that the BJP is blackmailing the government, asking agencies to go slow on a particular case against a minister. That was a charge that BJP is trying to influence the agencies. And the Prime Minister's comments were in the context of the goods and service tax. And one got the message that, there is a cloak and dagger business going on between the Congress and the BJP. You push each other a little bit, then you pull back. You allege something, then you pull back. People are getting confused in the middle of all this, Mr. Prasad. Yes.
Or not today you said that you will allow a fair debate, but I see your editorial comment are becoming the more important. First of all, I take a strong offense to the kind of language being used against my chief ministers. They are democratically elected chief minister. The allegations he made about push steel, since he have been repeating it many times, Mr. Manish Tiwari, I know which Congress chief minister recommended the case of push steels in Chhattisgarh. And I will tell you in confidence.
Why in confidence?
My restraint tells. No, please leave it to me. I know it for sure.
No, why in confidence,
I know it for sure. One day I will.
Why don't you name him?
No, I will reveal it also.
Why keep it cloak and dagger, sir?
Or no, please let us keep the level of debate.
No, but this is exactly what I referred to, Mr. Prasad.
Or no, if you will interrupt me, then I'm sorry, I will not.
No, but this is. I'm sorry.
I am on a larger issue of the federal. I am on the larger issue of the complete violation of the federal structure of the constitution. Today, I am not sitting on this blame game business. India is a federal constitution, democratically elected government, governed by the Gargill formula. The norms part of it is too well known. Now, can we say that the CBI has not been abused?
Well,
can we say that the governors are not abusing? He only mentioned about Gujarat, one law. Maharashtra law the same, but Gujarat cannot
but
come.
Everybody says that nobody does anything.
Governors of Bihar, of Uttarakhand, of Madhya Pradesh, of many other BJP government, where the governors are keeping the bill pending.
On governors, sir, let me say this. 1 second. On governors, sir, now you'll say again you're interrupting. But on governors, correct me if I'm wrong. When the Rajiv Gandhi government totally ignored the recommendations of the Sarkaria Commission during 84-89, the National Front, which had professed it will restore true federalism if it came to power, what did it do? First, it asked the president to ask all governors appointed by the previous regime to give in their resignations. Then 2 weeks later, sir, I remember very clearly that 13 new governors were put in, 7 of them were active ministers, many of them from the BJP, many of whom contested elections. Therefore, all of this is good when you're in the opposition, Mr. Prasad.
Or no, please, no, let me complete it today. Please, again, you are interrupting.
So, factually...
Who should be appointed a governor is a larger question. I differ with you that a politician will be a bad governor always.
No.
The question is how he is behaving. Now, if he is talking of massacre, now should we say, because 10,000 Sikhs were killed, Rajiv Gandhi ought to have been sacked, or the Congress government ought to have been sacked? I want a larger issue, try to understand. Don't derail that issue.
Okay, fine.
The issue is important.
Short of time, Mr. Tiwari's quick response.
This kind of CBI misuse cannot go on.
Allow me to rebut that squarely, since Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, has a habit of filibustering. So therefore, allow me to rebut that. You see, in the case of the riots which took place in Delhi, not only did we say that those riots were regrettable, but both Mrs. Gandhi and the Prime Minister repeatedly expressed regret, apologized in Parliament, went to Golden Temple and said that such a thing should have never happened. I have not heard a single word of any apology or any kind of regret, either emanating from the Chief Minister of Gujarat or any leader of the Bharatiya Janata Party. All that has happened Arnab, between 2002 and 2011 is every attempt to derail the process of justice. That is the unfortunate story of Gujarat. And now, coming to the larger question of federalism, which Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad keeps on raising, allow me to point out that federalism is not a license to run amok in your states. Federalism is not a license to loot and scoot. So therefore, if your state governments would function according to the democratic mandate, there would be no case for interference by any agency, least of all the governor.
Okay, we have civilized debate so far. We've civilized debate so far.
Two major parties can have a civilized debate.
Sure, fine.
What this loot business being talked about?
Okay, Mr. Tiwari, 1 minute, Mr. Tiwari.
Deeds of Congress party.
Mr. Tiwari, Mr. Tiwari.
I take a strong offense to the kind of language being used.
Okay.
I never said anything about the Congress chief ministers.
Okay,
is it
fine.
Fair
now
to
you
have this kind of language?
The points.
I strongly condemn.
Yes, but Mr. Prasad, some good points have been raised in the course of this debate.
About a former Congress Prime Minister who sacrificed his life.
Why, Mr. Tiwari, now
did I use the word loot?
This was not.
Did I use the word loot?
Let's not.
You can be civilized on the debate. Since you always repeat, today I am constrained to comment. At least maintain a restraint in your language.
Gentlemen, you have both made very substantial language.
The BJP has condemned the riot in the parliament and outside.
Mr. Tiwari and Mr. Prasad.
I'm sorry to say that.
Mr. Tiwari and Mr. Prasad, I think both of you have made very substantial.
For the first time, I am reacting, Manish. Please hold your language.
Okay.
You know,
On a
I
national
heard
channel,
you all patiently
loot,
without
loot.
interrupting
What kind
you.
of language
when
is this?
I speak, you take offense to
Okay,
it.
now Mr. Tiwari and Mr. Prasad, the point
No,
is,
but I'm on your-
the point
on your
is,
language.
the point
Manish,
is,
I'm
the
on your
point is,
language.
Mr. Tiwari and
Mind
Mr.
your
Prasad, the
language, that's
point,
very important.
Mr. Prasad and Mr.
You are a spokesperson of the
Tiwari,
ruling party of India.
Mr. Tiwari and
There has to
Mr.
be
Prasad,
respect
the
in your
point is
language.
you have both made very substantial points. We have had a very substantial debate, so I won't go by the form of the last 2 minutes, but by the content of the last 20 minutes before that. And for that content, I thank both of you and wrap up debate 2 on the News Hour tonight. Thank you very much.